Beneath the calm surface of the water, even the slightest movement can signal imminent danger. Crocodiles do not need to engage in a prolonged chase. They wait, close the distance, and strike only when the gap is narrow enough. In a matter of seconds, the tables can turn, and every reaction becomes a race against time. But what is it that makes crocodile attacks in the wild so terrifying? Across the wilds of sub-Saharan Africa, lions inhabit savannas, grasslands, and scrublands. They stalk their prey silently, accelerating only during the final, short burst of the chase. Their muscular bodies, powerful shoulders, and quick reflexes allow for efficient movement on land, yet this advantage diminishes in confined spaces. Along a stretch of riverbank, a young lion moves slowly at the base of a high earthen cliff, each step taking it into an increasingly narrow passage. Unable to scale the cliff directly, the youngster skirts the bank looking for a lower exit, but the gap between the cliff face and the water grows ever narrower. Every movement near the water's edge is detected by a crocodile through sight, sound, and pressure sensors around its jaws. Beneath the surface, the crocodile closes in, while the lion moves forward, unaware that the distance to danger is rapidly shrinking. When the crocodile suddenly lunges, the youngster wheels around, sprinting along the cliff base and changing direction to maintain distance. It attempts to find a way up, but the steep terrain and a group of crocodiles ahead further constrict the space. At this point, the young lion has no escape route from the danger zone. The crocodile secures its meal, bringing the confrontation to a close and continuing a familiar cycle in nature's food chain. With their long legs, light bodies, and compact muscles, impalas can accelerate, change direction quickly, and leap when in danger. They usually avoid direct confrontation, relying on alertness, speed, and group coordination to escape predators. These advantages keep impalas safe on land, but when one separates from the group to drink at the river's edge, danger immediately approaches. As soon as the impala lowers its head to drink, the crocodile begins to silently close the distance underwater. Just as the impala raises its head, the crocodile suddenly lunges, causing it to spring violently towards the bank, bracing its feet on the mud and trying to pull itself out of the water. For a few seconds, the impala almost regains its footing, but each time it slips, it is pulled closer to the deeper water. The footing it just regained is quickly lost, and the impala continues to struggle, twisting and kicking repeatedly to find a foothold, but its speed and ability to change direction are no longer as effective as on land. The crocodile grips its prey tightly, dragging it deeper, gradually gaining complete control of the hunt. Impala becomes a high-energy food source, helping the crocodile replenish its energy. On the vast African grasslands, the cheetah observes its surroundings, approaches stealthily, and chooses the perfect moment to accelerate. Its slender build, long legs, deep chest, and flexible spine allow for an extended stride, while its long tail provides balance during rapid changes of direction. As the cheetah lowers its head to drink at the river's edge, it fails to notice the crocodile lying motionless just beneath the surface. The cheetah continues to drink. While below, the crocodile makes minute movements to inch closer before striking. The cheetah instantly recoils, bracing its hind legs against the bank, twisting its body, and struggling to pull itself back onto dry land. For a few seconds, it nearly regains its footing, but a subsequent tug causes it to slide, dragging it closer to deeper water. This brief advantage lasts only moments. The cheetah kicks hard, twists, and attempts to retreat to the bank, but underwater, it lacks the space to accelerate or maneuver. The crocodile gradually gains the upper hand, dragging its prey into the depths. The encounter ends in victory for the crocodile, with the cheetah becoming a meal that fuels the predator's recovery after its long wait and ambush. Unlike many solitary predators, African wild dogs rely on pack coordination for hunting and survival. They share roles during the chase, cooperatively care for their young, and share food, as pack cooperation is generally more important than internal competition. This bond allows for highly effective coordination on land, but when the pack crosses a river, that advantage shifts into a far less controllable environment. Midstream, a crocodile suddenly lunges and seizes a wild dog. The dog immediately struggles violently, twisting and kicking toward the bank, while its packmates turn back, closing in and attempting to intervene to divert the crocodile's attention. For a few moments, the pack holds on to hope, but as the struggle drags on, the captive dog is pulled further away from the area where the others can offer support. As the distance widens, the situation shifts rapidly. The captured dog continues to fight back, but the pack is forced to retreat as the crocodile drags its prey into deeper water, making a rescue attempt too dangerous. Ultimately, the crocodile prevails, and the wild dogs hold back at a safe distance. Collective strength proves insufficient to alter the outcome. Hyenas are opportunistic predators capable of hunting, scavenging, or stealing food when the moment is right. They typically observe the situation, fan out, summon packmates, and leverage their numbers to exert pressure rather than relying on the strength of a single individual. Upon spotting a crocodile feeding on the riverbank, the pack does not rush in immediately. Instead, they spread out, maintain their distance, and wait for the opportune moment to close in. Once close enough, the pack coordinates its approach, forcing the crocodile to constantly pivot to keep its meal in front of it. Some individuals move forward to draw attention, while others slip into the blind spots behind. The pressure mounts with every shift in the crocodile's orientation. For a few seconds, it manages to hold on to its meal, but the tightening circle compromises its ability to defend the kill. As the hyenas press closer, the crocodile is forced to retreat toward the river, though it still turns to lash out whenever they get too near. When the circle finally closes in, it has no choice but to withdraw into the water, abandoning its food entirely. This source of nutrition sustains the pack's energy, demonstrating their coordinated strength and survival capabilities. Elephants are the world's largest land animals, characterized by their massive bodies, sturdy legs, large heads, broad ears, and flexible prehensile trunks. When a herd includes calves, the adults remain highly vigilant, using their ears, legs, trunks, and loud vocalizations to issue warnings and prepare for a potential response. As the herd descended to the river to drink, the calf stayed close to the group, yet a small gap at the water's edge provided an opportunity for a crocodile to approach. The moment the calf touched the water's edge, the crocodile lunged unexpectedly, clamping its jaws onto the calf's leg. The youngster jerked violently, scrambled backward, and struggled to break free. Alerted by the commotion, the adult elephants turned and advanced, spreading their ears in warning and using their trunks to forcefully shove the attacker. Faced with mounting pressure, the crocodile was forced to loosen its grip and release the calf. Once freed, the calf retreated into the center of the herd, where the adults formed a protective ring and stood guard to block the crocodile from returning. With no further chance to approach, the crocodile retreated into deeper water. The encounter ended in victory for the elephant herd. In the wild, retreating at the right moment minimizes risk and preserves the chance of survival for future hunts. In African rivers, hippos live in groups and possess strong territorial instincts while in the water. Males control specific territories, while mothers react fiercely when their young are in danger. They follow familiar paths out of the water to graze. Upon discovering the carcass of another hippo near the riverbank, one individual approaches, just as numerous crocodiles begin to gather around the food source. Crocodiles quickly close in from multiple directions, but instead of retreating, the hippo charges forward, gaping its massive jaws to force the nearest ones to scatter and create space around the carcass. Within seconds, however, the gap closes as crocodiles from the rear continue to advance. Each time the hippo drives back one group, the circle tightens, forcing it to constantly pivot to maintain distance. The pressure mounts as more crocodiles approach from all sides, making it impossible for the hippo to control the situation. It lunges and turns to ward off different groups, but is gradually pushed back as the number of adversaries grows. Ultimately, the crocodiles gain the upper hand through sheer numbers, overwhelming the lone hippo. Through each encounter, crocodiles demonstrate that their greatest strength lies in patience, the ability to lie in wait, and the timing of their actions. Sometimes a hunt ends in success, while at other times they must retreat when the risks become too great. This adaptability shows that survival depends on more than just raw power. In the wild, the survivor is often the one who knows when to strike and when to hold back. On the African savanna, the lion is regarded as a formidable predator, yet not every hunt ends in victory. When facing large, strong prey capable of fighting back, a single misstep can turn the tables. When raw power clashes with endurance, horns, hooves, and coordinated defense, what happens when the lion is forced to retreat? On the African savanna, wild dogs are distinguished by their pack hunting instincts and their ability to maintain relentless pressure. During a chase, they coordinate seamlessly, forcing their prey to constantly change direction and accelerate, rapidly draining its stamina before closing in for the kill. Energetic, persistent, and highly social, they rely on numbers, spacing, and agile maneuvering to counter a lion. A lion spots a pack of wild dogs resting and silently stalks toward them. Pausing to observe, it singles out an individual standing apart from the group and suddenly charges. The target barely has time to turn before being pinned down. Danger strikes instantly, but instead of fleeing, the remaining wild dogs immediately fan out to the flanks before circling back, repeatedly closing in to force the lion to shift its attention away from its captive. It is this moment of distraction that turns the tide. The lion turns to counterattack in one direction, only to be approached from the opposite side. As it pivots, the pack presses in close before darting just out of striking range. Amidst the maneuvering, the pinned dog breaks free and races toward its packmates, while the group's pressure compels the lion to retreat. As the lion begins to withdraw, the advantage shifts to the wild dogs. They protect their member through rapid reactions, maintaining safe distances and coordinating multi-directional pressure. The lion is forced to leave as the risk of injury rises. Faced with a more powerful adversary, well-timed coordination allows the entire pack to escape danger. The African rhinoceros is one of the largest animals on the savanna. Adults can weigh over 2 tons. They possess powerful necks, sturdy legs, heavy heads, and large horns used for defense when threatened. Rhinos do not hunt, but if danger draws too close, they can instantly turn and charge straight at their adversary to defend themselves. Facing a target weighing tons, a lion can only find an opportunity by keeping its distance and observing carefully. The lion stalks its prey, watching its movements before accelerating, attempting to close in from behind before the target can react. Just as the gap narrows, another rhino appears and charges, forcing the lion to halt its attack immediately. That moment leaves the lion facing a counterattack from the front. The targeted rhino immediately turns to face the predator, while the second rhino continues to advance at high speed, forcing the lion to dodge repeatedly to avoid a potentially devastating goring. With no opening left to close the distance, the lion slows down and retreats from the area. The lion continues to back away, abandoning any intention to resume the attack. The rhinos successfully repelled the threat through sheer physical power, rapid defensive reactions, and timely mutual support, forcing the lion to give up the hunt. Faced with the risk of serious injury, retreating was the safer choice. In Africa, savannas, open woodlands, and scrublands are the natural habitats of the giraffe. Their towering stature allows them to reach high-up food sources, while their long, powerful legs serve as a vital defense mechanism against danger. It is rare for an adult giraffe to be brought down. Any predator that ventures too close risks serious injury from the animal's powerful kicks. Despite the risks posed by these dangerous kicks, the promise of protein-rich meat drives lions to hunt them. They observe silently and fan out before suddenly accelerating, forcing the giraffe to constantly change direction within the herd as the gap rapidly closes. When a lion lunges from behind, the giraffe immediately delivers a powerful kick, breaking the initial approach. Following that counterattack, the pride continues to shadow the giraffe from multiple angles, seeking an opening. Whenever the lions close in, the giraffe accelerates, changes course, and kicks backward, preventing the predators from maintaining an attack position for long. After several failed attempts, the lions gradually slow down, while the giraffe begins to pull away. The distance widens until the pride eventually abandons the chase. The giraffe escapes thanks to its massive size, speed, and defensive capabilities, while the risk of injury prevents the lions from sustaining their pursuit. Through timely resistance, the giraffe ultimately breaks free from the hunt. From the savannas of East Africa to the scrublands and open woodlands of southern Africa, spotted hyenas are highly adaptable to diverse environments. They live in clans that can number dozens of members, yet they frequently split into smaller subgroups, regrouping based on food availability or the presence of rivals. This flexible organization allows them to react swiftly when a threat enters their territory. In this instance, the threat is a lion on the hunt. It pauses to survey the scene, deliberately chooses an approach path, and then suddenly accelerates toward the nearest hyena. That hyena instantly dodges aside, while the other clan members scatter, reposition, and rapidly close in on the lion from multiple directions. The lion wheels around to counterattack, lunging at the encroaching hyenas and forcing them to retreat. However, whenever it commits its strength in one direction, other hyenas immediately press in from the flanks and rear, compelling it to shift its focus. Besieged by pressure from all sides, the lion loses the initiative and is forced to withdraw. The hyena clan pursues it until it has left their territory. The outcome demonstrates that individual strength is not the sole factor determining the result of a confrontation. The ability to split up, regroup, and coordinate as a group allows hyenas to maintain an advantage over an opponent that would overpower them in a one-on-one fight. For the lion, retreating minimizes the risk of injury and brings an end to a situation that has turned disadvantageous. Across the vast African grasslands, buffalo live in herds, constantly monitoring their surroundings for any unusual movement. Upon spotting a predator, they may flee if a safe escape route exists, but they will turn to confront the threat if a member of the herd is cornered. With their massive bodies, powerful shoulders and necks, sturdy legs, and formidable horns, an adult buffalo represents both a prized meal and a target that is incredibly difficult to bring down. The nutritional value of an adult buffalo is significant enough to tempt a pride of lions into pursuing such a risky target. They stalk silently, patiently waiting for a buffalo to stray from the formation before suddenly accelerating to drive the target away from the herd. As soon as a gap opens, the nearest buffalo immediately wheel around, lower their horns, and charge, forcing the lions to scatter before they can complete their attack. Despite being repelled, the pride seeks another opportunity. They circle around to approach from a different angle, attempting to isolate a buffalo from the herd's protection. However, this time multiple buffalo advance together, repeatedly forcing the lions to change direction and retreat. As the opening closes and the risk of being gored rises, the lions lose the upper hand. Once the initiative is lost, the outcome becomes clear. The herd holds its formation, successfully protecting its members and forcing the lions to abandon the hunt after 2 failed attempts. The lions eventually leave the area empty-handed, while the buffalo move on together following the tense confrontation. The African elephant is the largest living land animal. Adults can weigh over 6 tons. Their massive bodies, powerful legs, large heads, flexible trunks, and tusks enable them to effectively defend themselves when threatened. Beyond sheer strength, elephants possess excellent memories, learning capabilities, and complex social communication skills, making adult elephants extremely difficult targets to approach. An elephant represents a massive food source, but accessing it requires the pride to take significant risks. They silently stalk an elephant that has strayed from the herd, closing the gap before accelerating to approach from the rear. The elephant immediately wheels around and charges, using its colossal bulk and heavy legs to halt the attack. This forces the lions to scatter to the sides, breaking up their approach. Although pushed back, the lions continue to pursue the elephant as it retreats into shallow water. In the water, whenever they try to close the distance, the elephant turns to face them. Some retreat while others advance, yet none can hold a position long enough to launch an attack. The elephant shifts direction, forcing each predator to back off and causing every attempt to close in to fail. Opportunities to approach dwindle, forcing the lions to keep their distance rather than continuing into the water. Whenever a lion draws near, the elephant immediately turns to face it, preventing any of them from maintaining a safe attacking position. As the risk of injury rises and the tactical advantage slips away, the pride retreats and abandons the hunt. In the rivers, lakes, and wetlands of sub-Saharan Africa, the hippopotamus is a massive and incredibly powerful animal. Its heavy build, large head, wide jaws, and long tusks provide effective defense against close-range threats. Although primarily herbivores, adult hippos react with lightning speed when approached, making any attempt to close the distance fraught with danger. Despite the ever-present risk of injury, a massive target like a hippo is tempting enough for a lion to consider an approach. The lion silently circles to the rear, patiently watching every movement before suddenly accelerating while the hippo is resting. However, no sooner has the attack begun than the hippo springs up, pivots to face the lion, and charges, instantly turning the tables. The lion dodges to the side, but the hippo does not stop. It opens its jaws wide and continues to press the attack, forcing the lion to constantly change direction to avoid a close-range bite. The lion attempts one more approach, but the hippo keeps advancing. Left with no safe position to maintain the attack, the lion is forced to flee the area. The lion continues to widen the gap until it abandons any intention of returning to the fight. The hippo's massive size, powerful jaws, and fierce defensive response successfully drove the opponent away, while the lion wisely gave up the prey before the risk of injury escalated. For a predator, knowing when to stop is a crucial decision for survival and future hunting. In nature, strength doesn't always determine the outcome. There are prolonged confrontations where pressure, tactics, and perseverance gradually change the course of events. Hyenas don't rely solely on physical strength. They operate as an organized system, and when facing different opponents, how they control the situation becomes clear. Hyenas rarely back down. They don't stand by and watch. They're usually the first to enter, placing themselves at the center of unpredictable situations. This is characteristic of a species accustomed to operating under pressure and knowing how to maintain the upper hand. The spotted hyena, a prime example, can weigh around 190 pounds and stand nearly 3 feet tall at the shoulder. Its body may seem disproportionate, but it possesses an optimal structure for endurance and control. Its jaws are among the strongest of any mammal, allowing it to maintain an advantage in prolonged situations. But the hyena's true strength lies not only in its physical prowess. Within each pack, which can number over 80 individuals, there is always a clear order led by the females. Each individual functions as part of a system where decisions are not random, but are shaped by experience and social roles. In open woodlands and savannas, leopards maintain a cautious and precise approach. Each adult can weigh between 80 and 160 pounds, possessing a flexible body and excellent climbing abilities. Instead of relying on sustained speed, they focus on approaching at close range with high precision. Once distance and position are established, the surrounding space begins to shift according to the movement of other elements. From behind, hyenas appear, heading straight for the leopard. They emerge from a suitable distance, maintaining a slow pace and continuously applying pressure. As the hyenas draw closer, others expand their positions, gradually closing off the surrounding space. The stillness is broken. The leopard begins to move, adjusting its position to avoid being pressured from multiple directions. Just a moment of imbalance, and control is lost. It is forced to abandon its position to avoid greater risk. In this type of confrontation, the outcome isn't determined by the initial pace. It comes down to the ability to maintain pressure and control space. As the tempo shifts, the advantage gradually shifts to the more organized side. Lions and hyenas are two species that compete directly for the same living space, both for territory and food. Adult lions have a bite force of approximately 650 pounds per square inch, thick shoulder muscles, and the ability to quickly close the distance. When the distance narrows, pressure is established immediately, and control can shift in a very short time. However, hyenas' approach differs from this solitary approach. Hyenas operate in groups. They expand their formation, clearly defining roles to surround and maintain constant pressure. Some hyenas approach to disrupt, while others maintain the outer perimeter, controlling space and restricting the lion's movements. The confrontation doesn't erupt immediately. Both sides hold their positions, constantly testing each other's reactions and endurance. Pressure gradually increases over time, but remains controlled. Neither side easily breaks through the other's structure. As the risk level increases, the pace slows and the distance widens. The fight ends when both sides leave the area. The lions maintain the advantage at close range, while the hyenas retain their numerical and endurance advantage. When no clear advantage is created, the result is usually a stalemate, with each side retaining its share of control. In the open grasslands, wildebeest move in large herds, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. They maintain close spacing, forming a natural protective barrier, reaching speeds of 43 to 56 miles per hour. They are among the fastest on the savannah. When danger arises, the entire herd reacts almost instantly, accelerating and maintaining formation. That stability doesn't last. A pack of hyenas, already watching, silently observes every movement. They don't charge in immediately. They wait. They wait until the herd's movement reveals a gap. When that moment arrives, movement begins from multiple directions. Hyenas advance, putting pressure on the herd to change direction. Simultaneously, other hyenas close in from the flanks, narrowing the space. The formation of the antelope herd began to waver, no longer maintaining its initial uniformity. The disruption quickly spread. The antelopes lost their rhythm, slowing down by just a moment. But in this environment, a moment is enough. A gap formed, and immediately, all the pressure was concentrated on that point. On the open grasslands, African wild dogs move at a steady pace, Each individual weighs approximately 40 to 80 pounds, with a compact build and long legs, well suited for long-distance travel. They maintain consistent spacing, allowing for effective coordination. However, this very stability can disrupt their movement under constant pressure. From a distance, hyenas begin to appear from multiple directions. They don't approach directly, but maintain distance, moving in stages to create pressure on the surrounding space. One group approaches to disrupt, while another stays on the periphery, gradually narrowing the wild dog's range of movement. As pressure is maintained, the movement pattern begins to err, gaps form, and coordination diminishes. The wild dogs, with their more stable numbers and ability to maintain a steady pace for longer periods, begin to gain the upper hand. The situation continued until the hyena could no longer hold its original position and was forced to leave the area. Once the rhythm was broken, the advantage shifted immediately. In the swampy areas, rhinos don't move quickly, but their weight can exceed 4,800 to 11,000 pounds, and their skin, about 2 inches thick, acts as a natural armor. Their vision is limited, but each step is steady. When they sense a threat, they don't retreat. They maintain their direction and are ready to react with short, direct bursts of force. On the edge of the area, hyenas don't approach directly. They keep their distance, moving around and observing the rhino's reaction rhythm. Hyenas get closer to disrupt, while others adjust their positions, applying pressure from multiple directions without disrupting the group's safety. The battle drags on in a tense stalemate. Each time the rhino turns, a gap appears in the opposite direction. The hyenas aren't in a hurry. They maintain their rhythm, waiting for a small deviation in direction. When that moment arrives, the pressure increases dramatically. The formation narrowed, forcing the rhino to constantly change direction to maintain control. Initial stability began to erode. Safe space was shrinking with each movement. There was no decisive blow, only a wear and tear on rhythm and position. Faced with prolonged pressure from multiple sides, the rhino chose to leave the area to avoid being surrounded. In the vast grasslands, African buffalo maintain a dense and stable formation. Their thick, curved horns close together like a shield, combined with their heavy bodies and thick hides, creating an impenetrable defense system. Upon receiving a warning signal, the entire herd immediately tightens its distance, shifting to a defensive stance almost instantly. On the outer edges, the hyenas do not attack directly. The hyena pack quickly closes the encirclement, maintaining distance before advancing from multiple directions. Pressure is concentrated on the edges of the formation, focusing on a slow pace. When a gap appears, they simultaneously close in, continuously increasing the pressure, giving the opponent no time to react. The pressure intensifies rapidly within seconds. The separated buffalo gradually loses control and finds it difficult to rejoin the formation. Despite its attempts to maintain its position, it remains isolated within the tightening encirclement. The outcome is decided right there. The hyenas maintain the pressure until the end, gaining the decisive advantage before the herd can re-establish its structure. There are no fixed rules for victory. Every encounter is a test of strength, organization, and the ability to maintain formation. The hyenas may press, but even one link holding firm can change the course of the game. When the rhythm is no longer controlled, the outcome will favor the side that maintains stability longer.